Uh, Working on the Procharger. I wanted to give a little small update video. I'm really kind of a little disappointed in the quality of the brackets. Let me show you what I'm talking about. And this may be normal, it may not be normal. I don't know. This is not something I would have expected to have to deal with, but it is what it is. You know, I'll make it work. But first of all, and this has nothing to do with the issue that I was making this video about, but I was able to modify the brackets a little bit and make it work with my LS1 pump. I'll show you that. So you can see, got my LS1 water pump, heavy duty tensioner, all that stuff's here. Idler pulley. The brackets still bolt to the head. I just had to do a little cutting on the back of the water pump. Instead of the bracket being on the front of the water pump, it's kind of behind the ears on the water pump. And that's because of the spacer kit, which you can see back there with this steam port return. But aside from that, what really shocked me is how much play there was in the bracket. Like, once everything was tightened down, I mean, you could just easily just wiggle this Procharger bracket back and forth like a lot. And I had it all straight and lined up, and I had, you know, I took some washers and stuff back here, and I made sure it was completely straight. And when I put the belt on, at first I didn't even notice it. I just put the belt on, and I wanted to just start it up and, you know, see how it sounded and everything. And literally before the engine even caught, the belt just jumped off. So I started checking it with the belt on with a straight edge, and sure enough, this son of a gun right here had kicked out probably 1/4 of an inch just from the weight of the tensioner, nothing else. And I was just kind of disappointed, because you would expect this to be a little stronger. They probably could have made these brackets out of steel, maybe something just to make it more usable. But I came up with a pretty good solution. Like I said, I've never ran a Procharger before, so I don't know if this is something that other people do, if this is something that's supposed to be done. I'm really not sure. But what I ended up doing is I brought this over to the core support, which is actually really strong on this truck. But this is a 5/16 rod. I went to Home Depot and found this bracket, this hardware, and it's got left-handed threads on one end, right-handed threads on the other, so I can turn this buckle and actually adjust it very easily. So, and I've got a jam nut and a lock washer on here, so it can't move. On the core support, I've got a nut cert down in the core support with a 5/16 bolt, and I've got a bushing here, washers on both sides, you know, so it can't really knock or anything. It's still, you can see it's able to move a little bit. Not that I really think it needs to, but you know, you don't want to make something super rigid where the engine might be able to move a little bit with vibration, even though I do have solid, well, not necessarily solid, but I've got polyurethane engine mounts, so the engine's really not going to move much. But still, just wanted to make sure that this had just a little bit of play. And the reason I did 5/16, even though everything on the truck's metric, is because the threads in the Procharger were 5/16. And so basically I just removed one of the bolts, holding it to the bracket, and threaded this all thread in here, and just kind of set this up. And then with the belt tension on the Procharger, I was actually I took my straight edge back across here, and I adjusted it to where it was square. And actually I went just a tiny bit past square, because I don't know how much, once this thing gets under load, I don't know how much it's going to try to pull it in. So I'm going ever so slightly past being square, just in case it tries to pull it in just a little bit. But it doesn't take a whole lot of strength here, you know, to make this rigid. And I mean, this is incredibly strong. You can't move it at all. So, but anyway, that's kind of a little update. I got the heater hoses done. Got some what's referred to as LS swap heater hoses, and you know, they come down to the water pump, obviously. And I got some DEI heat wrap. Got those all wrapped up. Got rid of all the factory. They just had all kind of crazy heater hoses and stuff from the factory. So this just makes it a whole lot easier to get to everything. Makes a lot more room for whatever I got to do here for the intake. You know, so pretty happy with the way that turned out. So anyway, there's a little update for today, and as soon as the intercooler kit gets here, we'll get the front mount intercooler kit going and get all that stuff plumbed, and then we'll have everything on the front of the truck put back together, which really won't take long. Anybody that's dealt with this knows that a couple of hours you can have the entire front of this truck put on. It's really simple. So once this is all done, get everything put back together, we'll start working on the tune, see if we can get us a first drive video. So anyway, y'all stay tuned. Thanks for following the build. If you have any questions, comment, and I'll get to them as soon as I can. And anyway, there she is. Appreciate it. Have a good night.